Well, hello, everybody, and welcome to another Talking Classic Cars. I'm Jay Ward.
And I'm Wayne Carini, and we are Talking Classic Cars.
We are. And today, let's talk a little bit about classics. Let's get caught up on our projects. Tell me what you have been working on. What's new in the garage? Have you bought or sold anything lately?
Yeah, well, that's a problem, buying and selling. I have this addiction, but we won't talk about that. We'll just talk about it. So in the shop, we're working on a Di Tommaso Mangusta right at the present time, tearing it all apart, getting ready for the down and dirty, strip the paint off and everything. We just finished up, we're finishing up a Griffith, a 200. So that's coming around. We just finished painting a Daytona Spider for a good friend of mine, Herb Chambers.
Oh, yeah.
It was
so you've got some good cars.
Yeah.
Di Tommaso Mangusta, does it have a 351 Cleveland the way a Pantera does?
No, so they came out with 289 Fords first and then went to the 302. So it's this one is a 302 car. We had just restored one for David Robinson of the Cars. He was the drummer of the Cars, and he had a 289 car. So very cool little cars. Panteras followed right after the Mangustas, but we really love them. This will be the third one we've restored. So yeah. And then of course I got in a little trouble last week. I've been jonesing about buying a fire engine. I've had that in the back of my mind for probably 25 years. And I finally pulled the trigger last week and bought an Aaron's Fox, 1936 Aaron's Fox, fully restored monster of a fire truck. I have no idea where I'm going to put it. I have no idea what I'm going to do with it. But I needed to scratch that itch, and it's finally done.
Okay, so you bought a 1936 restored, like it's red with the gold leaf, the whole bit fire engine. Now, I'm not a fire engine expert, but there are pumper trucks that pump the water, and then there's ladder trucks that carry the ladders.
This is a pumper. This is a pumper with a big, huge, big chrome bulb that goes in the front. That holds the water, and we're going to put it to use. We're actually going to hook everything up and we're going to have our own fire department here at the Carini farm.
You better disconnect your phone starting July 1st because you're going to get so many people going, "Hey, we got a 4th of July parade. Would you bring your fire truck?" Oh, my gosh.
That's true. Connor, my grandson's going to be the chief of the fire department. And then, of course, we got the assistant chiefs, a lot of those. My granddaughter, my friend Claude. We got everybody a hat. We're going to do it.
Yeah, you got to get him the old-timey fire hat with the leather front.
Oh yeah. We're gonna do it up.
I love it.
Yeah,
I love
it. That's what I've been doing. What have you been doing?
I sold a couple cars. I actually sold the Austin Healey, the V8 Austin Healey. I got it to a point. I did. I knew it was never going to be what I wanted it to be. I started stripping it down, realized the guy did a lot of stuff not the way I would have done it. Yeah. I sold it. My son was really upset I sold it. So I've got a little bag of money now, and I want to buy something, and I want to get your advice.
How about a fire truck?
I thought we were friends. No, I want to get something Italian. And this is good for the audience to think about too, is, when we think about Ferraris and Maseratis, a lot of those have gone past what the regular guy can afford. But what are the ones that are still under $100,000 that Dino was there 20 years ago, that's gone. But the 308 GT4, those kind of got popular now, and they've really popped up just in the last year. But those are a neat car, the Bertoni body car. There's some Maseratis in that time period. I don't know, the Bora or the Merrick. I don't know if those are any good. I like the Maserati Mexico. That's a pretty car, but those have gone up over $100,000. So I'm just trying to find some kind of, what's the affordable 60s, 70s Italian car, for a guy out there looking for something.
Well, a Merak it certainly is going to be in that affordability category, and I don't know. It's the 308 GT4 you can't beat. It's just a wonderful little car, great driving car. A lot of people don't like the design or the looks, but I tell you what, they perform really well. And a great track car. We got a little longer wheelbase and they handle really well. So if you want a little bit of a combination track and street car, that'd be great. A Bora, though, I think. We did a Bora for the Audrey Museum and rebuilt the engine and went through everything and didn't really restore the whole car, but mechanically we did. And what a wonderful car that is. If I was back in the mid 70s and I was looking for an Italian sports car and I drove a 308 and I drove a Bora, I think if you had the choice, you had to buy the Bora. I mean, it's that
Wow.
cool of a car. It really,
Yeah.
it's got all the things of Maserati and Citroen combined. I mean, it's basically what they did with the SM is they took a very similar car with all the hydraulics and all this stuff. They're a pain, but once you get them right and dialed in, what a heck of a car.
So what's a like? Let's just talk about a number three, like a good or maybe a very good car, like a 3+ right now. Bora versus 308 GT4. What's the dollar range on those two cars right now?
You could buy two GT4s for the same as a Bora right now.
Gotcha.
So a real good Bora. I mean, and that's a car on my list. That if I find the right car, it's got to be really, really good. It's sort of like
Yeah.
an SM. I really want an SM, but it's got to be the right one.
Yeah.
So yeah, and I tell you, the Bora though really surprised me. What a great car.
All right. Well, keep your eye out for me for a 308 GT4, but I want a 75 or older. I don't want 76 or newer because of California smog laws.
Okay.
And I'd like to find one with the European bumpers. Those thinner bumpers look so nice
Yeah,
on
they
those
do.
cars.
They do.
So if we can find one from Europe that's a 75 or older, that's not red. There's all three rules now. Not red, 75 or older.
In other words, you're looking for the used car factory where we can just
Yeah. Yeah. Can you make one for me? Okay. All right. Well, moving on. Finally, Wayne and I, we travel the country. We go to all kinds of fun car events, but we finally get our radar aligned and we're both going to Chattanooga this year. And I got there a day later than Wayne. I was flying from another event I was at. So I didn't get in until Friday night. And Wayne got a chance to sit down with Corky Coker before I got there. And we're going to listen to that interview. And for those who don't know, Corky's a great guy. This is the gentleman who literally started the vintage tire reproduction world. So 25, 30 years ago, if you're restoring a car, there was limited choices of what you could get for like a bias ply, large, small, wide. There was only so many of those available. And Corky had that insight of going to the manufacturers and getting the rights to make the molds or get the molds for these old vintage tire patterns and reproduce them again and really set this legacy of Coker tires.
That's right.
So Wayne, anything else you want to add before we jump into the interview?
The only thing I need to add is he only has the second best mustache in the world. I'm still ranked number one. But that's some fun thing that Corky and I do together. When we see each other, he always says, "Hey, the second best mustache in the world is here." But it's a lot of fun, and I get to spend some time with him, and of course our dear friend Chip Foose. I went to his birthday party. It was my birthday that day, and Chip, so we had a great birthday party, and Chip got engaged at that birthday party, so it was all really cool.
But, yeah, what a cool deal.
Here's that interview though with Corky. You're going to love it. This is Wayne Carini from Talking Classic Cars, and I'm here with my good buddy for many years, Corky Coker in the Chattanooga. We're here at the Chattanooga Motor Car Festival.
Yes, sir. We are.
And we just thought we'd sit down for a few minutes and talk. That's all.
In amongst all the flash and the circumstances and all the people racing, seminars, all the kind of stuff that goes on at concourse. Chattanooga Motor Car's got a lot of good things going on, and I appreciate you coming to Chattanooga.
Thank you. It's an amazing time this year. There's so many things going on. I mean, Byron's just like, he outdoes himself every year.
He does.
But, he has great help, like from guys like you and
Thank
from
you.
Ken Gross and really good
his
people.
staff. Yeah, his staff is
Jenny's.
Jenny and Ember and all those folks are just amazing.
They're great. And of course, it's a big undertaking to have a big event like this.
Byron DeFore and his brother Ken have had a vision about bringing people to Chattanooga around the same things that he and I love and that you love, and that is cars and car people. Mm-hmm. Chattanooga is a car town. We make all the Volkswagen Atlases here in town, and we made Nyberg automobiles here in town in 1910, 11, and 12, and Coker Tire Company was born and raised here, and we became the largest supplier of vintage automobile tires and wheels in the world. And so bringing all those folks who know about Chattanooga, know about the people in Chattanooga, but meeting these people and building up a car event was just their dream.
Yeah, and to do it in such a short period of time. This is year 5.
Year five,
Year
but
5.
the fourth event because of COVID.
Right.
Yeah.
But to make it grow this much in that short period of time is really something. And,
Yes.
and if it wasn't
We're
for
very
help
blessed.
from guys like you. And of course, for people that don't know, there's a racetrack.
Yes.
A really great racetrack that GT3 cars are racing on today,
Right.
as well as pre-war cars. So
We have 17 pre-war cars
That's great.
out there this year. And the ragtime racers have a blast doing it. We're all driving in open wheel cars. And, you know, there's some high-end big bore cars there. There's some small bore cars there that really will just rip it around those curves. It's a short 2-mile track, but it's 4 blocks away from where we sit right now in the center of the Motor Car Festival at West End and Village near the West End.
And then, of course, 2 blocks up at the Marriott Hotel, we have the Mecum auction.
Mecum auction. You looking at anything over in Mecum this year?
I'm actually I'm on.
You don't need any more Camaros.
I
or
don't need any
C-cars
more
or
cars at
anything.
all. I'm
Yep.
on the path for selling at the moment.
Oh no! Stop that.
Yeah.
Cars are for buying, not selling. Wayne.
Yeah, well, you know, I was the other day. I was going out to California for something, and I got on the plane, and I had a pad in front of me, and so I wrote all my cars down.
Yeah.
And then I checked off cars that I could sell.
Right.
And I said, I'm good with that. That'll cut the number of cars down. So I took a little nap and I woke up and I go, wait a minute, I can't sell that car. What am I, crazy? I can't sell that car. And cut the list down substantially.
Yeah.
And I ended up with 10 cars that I think I can sell, and I'm still on that path, luckily.
Yeah. Yeah.
So,
well,
I mean,
you know, what do you do when somebody asks you how many cars you have? You know, I don't like that question because it sounds like I've been, you know, I'm showing off or something like that. So I really don't know, but I do know every time I get the Haggerty bill once a year.
you know, I always tell them I have way too many, but never enough.
Yeah, never enough. There's always one we're looking for. And
That's
we just
right.
did a seminar about barn finds and what we're looking for. And, you know, I don't own a J. Duesenberg, and I'd like to have one. Not because they're, you know, rich man's car, but they're just
Spectacular.
spectacular.
Yeah.
I've got a Simplex, I got a Thomas, I've got a 300 SL, I got, you know, Mercers, I got a couple Mercers, I got a Stutz Bearcat.
See, you got stuff that I would love to have.
Well,
that's
but
good.
You've had them, and you've been smart, and you've made money off of them, and, you know, and you keep dealing with the greatest people in the world, and that's car people.
You know, we've been very fortunate, the both of us, to grow up in car families.
Yeah,
You know,
our daddies were really pretty good to us.
Well, they were good, and they were into it so much. You know,
Yeah.
going to Hershey every year. I
Yeah.
know your dad did. I did. I went there for the first time when I was 7 years old.
What year was that?
That
Wayne?
was in 1958.
Oh, Josh, you beat me.
1958.
You beat me.
Yeah.
63 for me.
58. In 61, my father made a cardboard sandwich sign, and he put it on me with all the parts he was looking for. Put a crayon in my pocket,
Yeah.
so that people could write down the space number they had those parts, and send me out into the flea market. You
Walking
get
around.
arrested
Yeah.
for that today. You know, abandonment
Yeah.
of child. You
Yeah.
know,
Yeah.
they take
That's
your
right.
child away from you because
Yeah.
you're too nasty to them.
I remember Hershey when the mud was halfway to your knees. In fact, I remember Fred Hoke pulling up in front of our tire trailer one time saying, "You want to ride in this Mercer?" And I said, "Yes, sir, I do." Didn't have the fenders on it. He threw rooster tails 30 feet in the air at Hershey. But, you know, when I took over the tire business, my dad said, "Son, you don't need to go to any swap meet other than Hershey every year. And if you just do that, you'll do fine." And, you know, I had to prove my dad wrong. But I also have another little funny story that I had a grandson that my dad took fishing. And he said, "We just had the best time with your grandson fishing." And I said, "Dad, I don't remember you ever taking me fishing. I am demented because of it." He did find a picture of me fishing, but then I wrote a little story after he died, and it's, you know, I went to Glidden Tours every summer. I went to Hershey and swap meets. He introduced me to the old car market. and I think I turned out pretty swell.
That's
anyway.
right. Well,
And he did good stuff by me.
Me too. My father would put the car trailer on the back, the 49 Plymouth station wagon,
Isn't that
a
something?
canoe on the top.
Yeah.
And he'd tell my mother, we're going up to New Hampshire and Maine to go fishing. Of course, we didn't do any fishing. We just went
looking for cars.
Hunting for car parts.
Yeah.
He had the guide for all the Ford dealerships in New England, and he would go to every Ford dealer, and he'd buy all the Model A parts that were up in the attic.
Yeah.
Anything pre-1940, he was buying it for like 10 cents on what the list price was.
Yeah.
And then selling it.
So I have another little story. Wayne and I just did a seminar about barn finds, and Tom Cotter, the moderator, asked, "What's the car that you're still looking for that you'd like to find?" Well, I've got one of those, and I'm going to share it with you. It's within 100 miles of here, but it's only a Model A Ford two-door sedan, but it's a very special. It's stainless steel.
Oh, wow.
Stainless steel.
Yeah.
Those are rare.
Those are very rare.
Allegheny Ludlam made 36 Fords. They made some Model A's. They made a 58 Thunderbird and a 64 or 65, I don't remember, Lincoln Continental in stainless steel.
Right.
Pretty rare. I don't know if it's worth a lot of money now, but I know where the general vicinity, and I'm still working it.
Okay.
Trying to find it. Isn't that fun?
It's all about the chase.
Yeah, it's all about the chase.
Yeah, I mean, and there's a saying that they become another can of peas on the shelf after you buy them, and you chase them and you get them, and then you put them on the shelf, and
It's like the dog catching a car. What are you going to do with it when you catch it?
That's right. Yeah. Well, we do that all the time. That's for sure.
Yep.
Well, it's a wonderful thing what we're doing. In the car community and motorcycle community. We're both hooked on motorcycles.
We both have the incurable disease.
Yes.
Motorcycles and vintage cars.
That's right. Anything with wheels and an engine on it, we'll go for.
That's right.
I was just at the Barber Museum last weekend,
Yeah, I
and
missed that.
George Barber has now a passion for outboard motors.
Oh my! He probably got 300 of them.
Yeah, 300 or 400. They're all lined up on the ceiling, but that's such a wonderful place.
Yeah, it is. They got a wonderful driving track, and they usually do around this vintage motorcycle weekend. They usually do a 100-year-old ride.
Yep.
So you can go ride, and you get a certificate, maybe a sweater or something. I don't know. That riding a motorcycle that's over 100 years, and you and I both have a few of those, don't we?
That's
over
right.
100 years.
We do.
Yeah.
And so, Coker Tire's doing well.
Yep, doing
And
well.
Honest Charlie's.
We're building cars and restore cars. We just finished for a buddy a 15 Rio. It's on the track today. I'm having the time of my life. Dude.
So that's an Honest Charlie Speed Shop.
Honest Charlie Speed Shop and Garage. And we're right here on downtown Chattanooga. We're just south of the Trade Center where the Mecum auction is. Come in and see us. We've got our cars on display. We call it a museum, but it's really just a bunch of my scrap iron on display that we wipe off the dust of every now and then.
Well, I always wanted to come to Chattanooga and see you and see your collection and see the tire store.
Yep.
And then when this happened,
It's just too much to do. It's too much to do.
It's really great. I remember when we first had this, we had a little rally that started over at Coker Tire.
Right.
And we did that, but it's grown and grown and grown. It's really great. We have a Porsche display here this year. We have a Ferrari display.
Yep. We had the Canosa Rally, B8's in the Village, Corvette's in the Village on Saturday.
Yeah.
Tonight, Friday night, we have the B-52s are playing at the end of the street. We heard them warming up this morning.
So what I did is in my little contract that I made to come down here, I made a little sidebar that I would stand on the stage when they're singing Love Shack. So I can't wait for that.
You gonna do the dance or something too?
I don't know.
Yeah, I don't know about that.
I just love that song.
Yeah,
So,
it's fun.
Yeah,
It's fun. Love Shack Baby.
Love Shack Baby. So great to be with you, Corky, as
Wayne,
always.
yeah, thank you.
I really honor being able to tell everybody that you're my buddy.
You are my friend.
Yeah, and I love that.
I love that. Love you too, buddy.
Love
I appreciate you.
And even though you do have the second best mustache in the world.
First best. Sorry.
Yeah, well,
sorry. Love you, but you are wrong sometimes. All right.
Thanks, bud.
Thank you. Awesome.
Wow, that was a fantastic interview with Corky. What a great guy. What a legend in the vintage car world with tires. And I can tell just by listening how much you guys are really friends. Just there's an energy between the two mustaches talking it out there.
Yeah, well, he's still the second best mustache in the world. But no, it's wonderful. You know, Corky's got such enthusiasm for our car world, and he loves people, and it was just great being with him one on one. You know, normally we get together and there's a crowd around us, or everybody's friends, but it was just great being one on one with him and just talking to him. So wonderful time, and Chattanooga was a great event.
Well, if you enjoyed that interview from Chattanooga, don't worry, there's more to come. We're out of time for today, but we really want to thank you for joining us on Talking Classic Cars. We'll see you on the road.
CJ.